Oh hey guys, what's up? This is Pants Our Dragon, and today we're doing a video on the top 5 best junglers for Season 6, aka 6.1. The changes that has happened to 6.1 is that they added a new item called Runic Echoes to replace the Runeglaive. This new item is a buff to all AP junglers. They also buffed the Jungle Talisman item a bit by giving more mana regen. And the Precision Mastery has been nerfed. So a lot of people are taking the cooldown reduction mastery or other masteries. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get started. Alright, so first up is going to be Kindred. Kindred, although having been nerfed in patch 5.24, by having the heal from her W toned down a little bit and the ultimate cooldown going up, she is still a good jungler. The reason for this is because her clears are really good with her Q, giving her AoE clears and, being up every 2 seconds with her W, having really good sustain with her W plus the machete and the talisman, and being able to kite the creeps. She's also really good at snowballing because she has her ultimate to give her invulnerability or her team, so it can be quite hard to kill her if you want to stop her from snowballing, along with her passive being a snowbally passive. Myself, preferably, I do like other marksman junglers such as Quinn better than Kindred, just because I like the mobility Quinn does offer, and I actually haven't played Kindred in a while because she's always banned, but I do understand why she's always banned because in the hands of a really good jungler, she can be very powerful. Next up we got a Nidalee at number 4. Nidalee is a cat in the jungle, and that cat got an indirect buff in this patch. Although she was pretty decent with Runeglaive, we all know Runic Echoes gives us, well, plus 10% movement speed, and gives us the Luden's Echoes passive. It's good with her spears as it will make her do extra damage, but her burst is a little bit less since she doesn't have that Lich Bang for her Q when she goes into Cougar form, or just hitting people with her auto attacks in human form. And the reason Nidalee is so good is because her early game is very good, like you'll always see her levels very high, as her clear speeds are really fast. Along with that, her ganks, as long as she can hit those spears, she's gonna kill someone. And with Runic Echoes giving her more map presence and mobility with the movement speed, she has become more stronger than before. I don't play her because whenever I play her, I always die somehow mid-game or early-ish to mid-game and throw my lead. You know why? Because my mechanics in teamfights aren't the best. Nidalee is a tricky champion to play in mid-game and late-game teamfights because if you miss one spear, that could have been the crucial spear to win you the teamfight. So yeah, as long as you can land those slow-ass spears, you can get your assassination onto your target. And if you're good with 8 abilities, then you're good to go. Next up we have Mundo. Mundo is a champion who is very, very tanky. And by tanky, I mean strong. Well, okay, he's pretty strong because of the mastery changes, and he hasn't been nerfed too much in the preseason. Mundo is one of those champions you either pick or ban. If he's up and you don't pick him, well, you're gonna have some trouble when it comes to the mid game and late game. He's gonna be like, Cleaver, smack your face. You're gonna be like, I can't do anything because he has skirmishers and he reduces damage and he's has so much hit point. And then you try and burst him and he runs away and he has a sliver of health remaining. Then he comes back with like 50% health and kills you. And then you're like, should have banned Mundo. Although I would like to say that, missing cleavers and ganks is somewhat crucial, so land those cleavers because they do slow for like about 2 seconds. And then after that, you basically can land the next few cleavers. Next up at number 2 is going to be Elise. Elise in this patch has gotten a huge buff. I've been trying to figure out why she got a huge buff in this patch, and even though nothing has changed to her, she was indirectly buffed by the Runic Echoes. At first I thought she was just abusing like spellcasts and getting those charges really quickly, but I actually figured out the real reason why she's very powerful. Okay, so Pantheon has the highest base movement speed in the game. If you turn into a spider, you have the same movement speed as Pantheon. Combine that with plus 10% movement speed, that is very fast, plus you have boots of swiftness, so you are a fast spider crawling around the map killing people. Like, you gotta try it. Go swiftness, go Runic Echoes, and then go in spider form, and you're like, what the fuck, why am I so fast? Holy shit, I must be OP. And that is basically why Elise is super strong in this patch. Just because of how fast she is around the map with, Runic Echoes plus swiftness plus her spider form. She was, decent before, one of the top 5 best junglers. Now she's, well, pretty strong. And finally, at number 1, we have Graves. I am 100% certain he is the best jungler at the moment. I was always wondering why I found Graves so good in the preseason and why I just couldn't stop playing him in solo queue. is because I felt he was really strong, and for some reason I have like a hard-on for playing OP champions. I didn't think he was strong because everyone would disagree with me, but if you've been following me for quite some time now, I've always been including him in my tier lists. And yeah, although my build, I was not actually using the right build, as I was going Berserker Grease or some other item instead of Swiftness, and I wasn't going full armor penetration on this guy. And also with the Last Whisper upgrades being buffed, it kind of helps him too since he can now penetrate tanks, while also doing devastating damage to squishies, and yeah, he's literally the best jungler in the game right now. Like, I can go on forever with him, but basically, ganks. Dash in, smoke screen their ass, they don't know what's happening, throw out your Q, do a bunch of damage, shoot them in the face, dealing a decent amount of damage, and then finally finishing them off with your R, or just, well, basically sniping someone with your R if they're low hit point. Oh yeah, also he's got a really strong mid game and late game. Although super late game, where, you know, where he's getting like 3 shot from 80 carries, yeah, that's a problem because he doesn't have a lot of range, but fuck those people who said Graves Jungle was a troll. He's going to be my Season 5 Rek'Sai. And next up, we're going to be doing some honorable mentions. First up is going to be Lee Sin. Lee Sin, he's really, okay, you need to have skill to play him. Like, if he ain't good, if he ain't great, don't play him. If you're good, don't play him. If you're great, play him. He's only good if you're like, you know, you can see that you're doing well in the early game. You see that you're pulling off the combos correctly in the mid game and late game, like the insect and stuff. But if you ain't, ooh, avoid him, but he is good in the right hands. Next up is the Cancer Cat. Cancer Cat is good because he uses Machete and he uses Lifesteal off monsters. He also likes Rapid Fire Cannon, he also, you know, likes Ghost Blade, cooldown boots, and, you know, just basically pouncing on people. And yeah, he is really good, especially if you know how to kill people with him. Now, if you're wasting your ultimate and not really getting kills or, you know, suiciding, you should probably avoid this champion because he definitely requires some decision making. And overall, just the limits of what he can do. Next up is going to be Rek'Sai, and personally I can say that I'm not a big fan of her too much anymore because of how many nerfs she's gone through. Although I do see other players playing her, I just feel like there are more powerful junglers at the moment. And basically, why wouldn't I play those junglers instead of, you know, this champion? So for me personally, too much nerfs, but she'd probably be my 6th champion to go to. And next up we have the Bird. This is probably the champion I would play if Graves or Elise is picked or banned. Like, even though she got nerfed after she was very OP, she's still pretty good, especially as a jungler. Like, when she hits level 6, her map presence increases by a lot, and her ganks are actually pretty good because of her E, and just having a pretty good amount of sustained and burst damage. The only problem is, it does cost 100 mana, so you'll probably have to steal a lot of buffs from your mid laner. But once you do get a level 11, of course, it does cost 50 mana, and it's basically, you know, you don't need that blue buff anymore. But yeah, personally, myself, I'm a big fan of the marksman jungles, but it's kind of weird also since I'm not the best AD carry, so it's kind of contradictory to my playstyle, but you know, I'm really comfortable on these champions. Anyways, that is it for this tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and in the comments below, let me know who your favorite jungler or, you know, best jungler is, or someone who you feel like, you know, should have been mentioned. Maybe I'll look at it once more and see if they're worthy of the honorable mentions, who knows. And make sure to leave a like if you did like this video, and subscribe for future videos like this. And again, I am Panther Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.